What's up, YouTube? Mr. LaMSC here, and welcome back to a Project Diablo 2 character look. So we're going to go ahead and be looking at the Druid right now, just to see how it changes from vanilla, and what the sort of builds seem to be right now that are doing very well. So the first thing that we will look at is just the basic trees, kind of how they've shifted some of the pieces. You can see Oak Sage is now level 30, right? So they've kind of changed up some of these things. This is pretty similar. There's now a Gust skill. Arctic Blast is now level 1. You know, they've changed a little bit there, and they've done a little bit of change right here as well. But let's go ahead and drop into one of the builds. So the first build we'll talk about is Elemental, right? Elemental was strong in LOD, strongest in LOD, I would say. How does it fare now? The answer is it still fares well. So Fire, very strong, early on especially. Fissure hits even more often. They have dropped damage down on it, but Fire is still very good early. It does start to fall off later, per usual. But if you actually get enough plus to skills and start beefing up, you can actually have really good fire builds again. So that's something that we've actually seen in our team, is that like when we're, max LEGCs and kind of running these maps, running like Volcano, because there's no cooldown on it anymore, running Volcano is actually really nice. As you can see, you can cast a lot more Volcanoes. Obviously, we're not going to do anything right here, as those are fire immunes, and I'm in hell with no gear. But I can at least put that into Vitality for saving purposes. But it is something that we're seeing do decently well when you start maxing out all of those synergies. So Fire, actually not bad. Additionally, Armageddon doesn't require all the wind now, and has more hitting, right? So you can see it drops down a lot more. It feels like people are running Armageddon with this as well. So you run Molten Boulder, Fissure, Armageddon, and Volcano, and they all kind of have that boost to each other. And so you can run this Volcano Armageddon build. Once again, not the greatest skill still ever, but it is not bad, and it is an improvement from LOD, and we are seeing Fire becoming strong later. Additionally, we're still seeing Wind be very good. They've made some changes to Tornadoes and Twisters right here. First off, the number of Twisters you can see is increasing right there, which is very good. The Tornado range has also changed. So we can see if we go to like here, Tornadoes now have like a bigger hit. And then if I do some of these Twisters, you can see the speed on these. And of course, I have way more Twisters as well. So it feels like Wind is also very nice. And then you do have Gust as well. So Gust is a teleport skill for the Druid. And it does have a long cooldown that does go down with every point in it. But it is a nice little boost for the character. And also very nice, of course, for, once again, if you are going for summons, now you have the ability to group up those summons. So overall, Elemental, very strong. Fire and Wind, I've seen both work very well. Summoning is also decently strong. I've seen a lot of people playing summon builds, and they've actually been doing quite well. So one thing you'll note here is that this is only a max life, so Oak Sage actually has gone down in its efficiency. Ravens are actually not bad right now. They've been added to the synergy list of this summon tree right here. And so we've seen a lot of people going for big summons. Ravens don't do cold damage. Oh, that's sad. Ravens are trash. I've seen people enjoying the Ravens, but it's probably because they are now in this group, And one of the things that you'll really note once again is, first off, I can get 2 bears when it's at level 20 there. I can have multiple summons up at the same time. Right? So this is one of those main differences once again. So as a summoner, I can actually have a large group of summons now, as opposed to in vanilla where you pretty much just summoned one of those things. Additionally, you can also have your vine going as well. So yeah, you can call 3 ravens at a time. The number of ravens you can summon at a time goes up based on how many skill points you have there. So overall, you get a much larger army, and the Summon Druid seems to actually do pretty well. There's also some cool stuff with going and being a bear with your bears or being a wolf with your wolves, right? So if I get these, and this is something they're working on, I'm not sure it's exactly perfectly useful yet, but if you do this, you actually like increase your bear damage. So yeah, you can see where bear is 6% damage per level, werewolf is minus 12% damage per level. And the same is said for these guys. So you can actually run a bear with your bears or a wolf with your wolves and just kind of be like, I don't know, it's really funny. I haven't seen a lot with this build, but I'd love for this to be just like a super sick build, just like you running around with your big old bears, you know? We're all just being bears. Just a great time. Me and my bears. Yeah, pack leader buff, exactly. Oh, I didn't even have up the these things either. I think you can only run one of those. Yeah. So regardless, summon, very cool. Shape-shifting overall feels to be decent, but probably the weakest of the group, I would say right now. I'm still waiting to see more people run Fury Druids. I've seen like a little bit of that. Rabies got a buff, but I still don't think Rabies is quite good enough as of right now. I'd love to hear more testing on that, but Rabies has been buffed, so maybe go play around with some Rabies. Let me know. And then Shockwave is now not a stun, but it now is a damage, really. So it's not an increasing stun, I should say. It's always 0.2 seconds. But you can now use this kind of as a big damage spell. So yeah, so there's definitely some interesting stuff here with this, with the shapeshifter, but I'm still not 100% certain. I haven't really seen a lot on that, and I'm not sure if summon plus pack leader is better than pure summon by itself either. But I guess the point is, if you're going for this, then you're looking to be the pack leader, right? It's 6% damage per level for werebear skill, which is the same as adding like one of these. So instead of putting my 20 points here for my bears, I'm putting my 20 points here, and you know, and then I'm playing along with them, but then I'm not running these guys as well. So it's just a different style build. I think there's still plenty to play with. Druid, very strong as well. Has a lot of good different builds you can play around with. I'd love to hear your guys' thoughts. I'd love to hear how it's been working for you, and what builds have been working or not working. What feels good, what feels underwhelming. So let me know. Regardless, thanks for watching, everybody. Peace.